and welcome to Beads Jar. My name is Billy, and in today's fabulous tutorial I'm going to show you how to work with these new Pip beads. I love the colour on these, they're called Magic Apple, and I'll also be adding in the Miyuki cotton pearls. I hope you enjoy the project. We'll be working with the size 11 Miyuki seed beads in this beautiful Cranberry Lustre colour. We've got the 10mm Miyuki cotton beads, which are really lightweight and also really nice to work with. I haven't come across them before, they're new. And we've got the Preciosa Pip beads, which is a little pip shape bead. This one's got the lustre finish as well as a clear side, and the hole runs just through the top. I'll be using some jump rings and a lobster clasp to complete the fastener. And we've got some precision scissors, 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, and I've pre-threaded the 8-pound Fireline, and there's 1.5 meters here with a size 11 beading needle. Size 10, sorry, beading needle. I'm going to pick up 6 of my size 11 seed beads with the beading needle. So I've got 6 on there, and I'm going to take those 6 all the way down the Fireline and leaving about a 10cm tail that I'll finish the project off with. So I've come through the beads and they're at the bottom. I'm now going to take my beading needle back up through the beads, so all 6 of the beads, and pull my needle through. And as you can see, that's created a round in the beads. I'm going to take my needle back through the first 3 seed beads. So that was the first 2, and then the 3rd seed bead in the loop. So we've formed a circle with those seed beads there. The next part of the make is really nice and straightforward. I've pre-counted out 11 of my 10mm cotton beads because that's what I'm requiring for the length of bracelet. If you need a longer bracelet, which you can check after you've threaded this first section, then obviously just add more of the Miyuki cotton beads onto it. So I'm now going to pick up another 2 of my size 11s, and then I'm going to pick up my Miyuki cotton bead. Follow that with 2 more of the Miyukis. And they're going to sit against our loop here at the bottom. We're going to go all the way along our project now, so this is how we're threading them. So it's 2 and then Miyuki and then 2, and then complete that until you've got all the way to the end. So I'll just do the next few and then I'll join you again to show you how we create our little pip detail around the sides. So that's how you're going to string them, and now I'll join you once you've got the full length, and then you can check that round your wrist and make sure that you've got what you require on there as well. So I've gone ahead and threaded all the beads up, and I've got all my Miyuki cotton beads on. I'm now going to create the same end that I did to start with. So I'll be putting firstly 8 seed beads onto this end. So we'll go and put 8 of those on. So we have our 8 seed beads, and they're going to go down to the Miyuki. And then I'm going to go back through the 6th bead. So by going through the 6th bead, it's wrapped the end in, and I'm now going to continue to go all the way around that loop with my needle and thread. One, to give it some security and make it stronger, and secondly, so that I'm back in the right position to start threading the next lot of beads for our design. I'm just going to go all the way around the loop. Keep the tension tight at this point in the make. So I've come back through the last 2 in the loop. And I'm going to make sure all the tension of the project is good at this point. I'm just going to move my needle out of the way, and we just want to pull all that in really nice and tight, and so there's no bagging anywhere along your thread either. So I've come out of this seed bead here, and we're going to take that up and through the next seed bead at the top. Right, so my thread's now coming out of that top row, and I'm going to add my selection of pip beads. Start with another seed, so one of your seed beads, and then you're going to pick up a pip bead, another seed, a pip bead, seed bead, pip bead, seed bead, pip bead, seed bead. Oops. Take these down the thread to your Miyuki, and we're going to bring that down through the first 2 center beads in between the Miyukis. So we've got these 2 here, so I'm bringing my needle through the first 2 and out the second one. And that way we can start adding our next lot of pip beads on the opposite side. So we're moving along, and we're picking up again. Seed bead, pip bead, seed, pip, seed, pip, seed, pip, seed. And this time, once they're down next to the Miyuki, it's the next 2 along on this side here. And out through the top. you can see how the pattern's now going to progress all the way to the other side. So carry on doing your pip beads around the Miyukis until you've reached the opposite side, and that's where I'll show you how to finish off and we will connect our clasp. So I've gone all the way through where I left you on the last two curves, and as you can see the pattern's gone all the way along, and I'm just on the last loop of my pip beads. I'm going to come up the bottom and I'm going to go around my loop of seed beads here along so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm now going to go back through these beads and I'm going to take this down past the next 3 Miyuki cotton beads as well, and then I'll tie my end off for the thread. Oops. It can get a little confusing because you've got your other tail end, but we're just going to take it nice and steady and keep going through our seed beads and our Miyukis. So I'm going back down the 2 that run along next to the Miyuki cotton, and I'm just going to go through there, and I'll try and get that to pop out so that you can see. Okay, so I've got to the 3rd Miyuki cotton bead, and what I'm going to do is take my beading needle up and under one of the threads that's running through between the seed bead and the Miyuki, and as I'm pulling that through, we're forming a loop with our Fireline, and I'm going to take my beading needle up through that loop and then back through the seed bead, and this will hide in between these 2 and give us a nice finish next to the beads. And I'm going to do another one coming out of the other side, and then I can cut off my excess thread and that'll be all nice and secure, and I can take my needle off and we can finish doing the opposite side before putting the fastener on. So I'm pulling through my loop again, up through the loop with the needle, pull that in tight, and then take that through the next few beads along, and then you can just cut off your excess thread. So I've just done the knot and then gone through, and then I'm going to take away the excess thread that we no longer need. Come back to our end point here, where we're going to add our beading needle back on and do the same with this one. So I've put my beading needle back on. I'm going to go through and I'm going to tie a knot next to my Miyuki here. So my needle goes up and under. Loops formed there. Take our needle through the loop of Fireline and pull that in tight. Back through the Miyuki. And if you want, you can do another knot on this side. Personally, I'm confident this one's going to hold. I'm coming off with the beading needle and finishing the end by taking the excess thread away. Okay. Very simply, to add our clasp, we're just going to use jump rings. So to one side, I'm going to open a jump ring with my flat nose pliers. So we're going to go up through that loop of beads, seed beads that we have. So the jump ring's connected to the seed beads. And then onto our lobster clasp. And then you're going to close that together. And on the opposite side, you can just add the jump ring. If you wish, because you're not sure of the length you want, you can always connect more than one jump ring to the end, and that way you've got a little extension chain so that the size can be variable depending on the wearer. This one's just already opened. I'll just pop that on to show you the finished effect. Oops, it's also decided to hook another little one on. So we've got our jump ring and the clasp, and these two go together like so. And there you have your little Pip Vine bracelet. Thank you for watching our tutorial today. Give us a big thumbs up and subscribe now to our YouTube channel, where you can get all of our latest inspirational design ideas. Visit beadsjar.co.uk to get all of the beads available in the tutorials. Until the next time, bye!